I know it's not very pleasant, R2, but we have to show the Death Star. Of course I care about upsetting a fellow droid, but we can't stop now. We must get on with our journey aboard the Millennium Falcon.
The Falcon, in which the intrepid adventurers are traveling, is in fact a model. Designed and built by a Hollywood special effects house, it is photographed by a computer-controlled camera. By photographing the model against a blue screen, it will later be possible to add different backgrounds and other moving objects to the scene. This can be done by means of double and triple exposures. The work is painstaking and precise. It is an endeavor where details count. Scenes filmed on the London sound stages will also be integrated with the model shots made in California. To achieve this, the actors must also be filmed against a blue screen.
Tell anybody about us.
In the Falcon cockpit, the actors play out their terror at being caught in a magnetic pull exerted by a yet unpictured Death Star.
It's too big for a space station.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
Turn the ship around.
Yeah, I think you're right. Full reverse, Chewie!
In order to complete the scene, it is necessary to generate what the special effects people call mats.
It's pulling us in.
They permit the separate elements to be printed one at a time. In this case, the actors, the graphic of the Death Star, and a star field. When finally combined, the star field, the Death Star graphic, the model, and the actors filmed on stage contribute to the creation of a dramatic sequence. Another technological achievement was the creation of 33 fully operative robots. R2-D2 was the crowning achievement of these mechanical creatures. An achievement of another kind was the creation of the more human-like droid C-3PO. He and his companion became both dream and nightmare to their creator, George Lucas.
When I started writing this, I found the most intriguing thing was to take two robots and make them into human beings and make them the most interesting characters in terms of the comedy element and the sort of, I wanted to make the film around them, use them as a framework for the film. And I knew when I did that I would be getting myself into a lot of trouble.
Difficulties with the robots led to a loss of time. And in the Star Wars location, where each day could cost upwards of $100,000, the director's affection for his creations had to be tempered with impatience.
How's that for ingratitude, R2? Where would he be without us? Come to think of it, where would any of them be without us? You're quite right, R2. They'd still be in the garbage crusher, wouldn't they? No, I wouldn't have. Gold doesn't rust. But I must say the pluckiest of the lot was the princess.
Carrie Fisher is Princess Leia. Born to show business, she is the daughter of Debbie Reynolds and Eddie Fisher.
Playing the role of Princess Leia was fun a lot of times.
Well, it wasn't fun all the time. After about 2 hours in the garbage room, the fun started to wear off and your skin started to wrinkle and your rubber suit didn't fit right anymore. But we had a good time. When we did the swing across, it would have been fun if we'd been allowed to do it a second time. But it was like doing the upside-down roller coaster. We did it one time, and it was scary. And then if we'd gotten to do it again, it would have been fun. But they didn't let us do it again.
Here, hold this.
The daring swing was frightening because it actually took place 30 feet above the floor of the studio. But not all of Star Wars' towering scenes were filmed at dizzying heights. Here, Obi-Wan attempts to turn off the magnetic beam which prevents the Falcon from escaping the Death Star. He is only 6 feet off the stage floor. In the final film, he will appear to be 100 feet off the floor.
A very good clues.
Alec Guinness talks about playing his role in this kind of special effects film.
Borrow a little bit here and there. But it's no good trying to think of this character in terms of a psychologically rational man. There's a bit of magic about it. And I just trust that the camera and the backgrounds will provide the rest.
To match the director's concept for this scene, without actually building a huge and expensive set, the filmmakers resort to what is called a glass painting shot. Thousands of miles from the stage in England, a California artist paints a background on glass that will later surround the scene in which Alec Guinness appears. A blank spot is left on the glass painting for the live-action scene filmed on the London stage. The glass painting is then photographed, and the scene with Alec Guinness will be incorporated within it. The final effect is a masterful illusion.
Making Star Wars was a lot like the movie. You never knew what was going to happen next.
For 10 long weeks, the Star Wars company labored on the suburban London sound stages, bringing to life a film that had begun as an idea with George Lucas 3 years before. For Lucas, these 10 weeks were pressure-laden as he struggled to keep the 130-member company on schedule. For the actors, it is both a time of excitement and tedium. To outsiders, the filmmaking world looks to be a fun-filled, glamorous environment. It is actually a workaday world of detail and repetition.
It's times like this that I really feel like shutting down. Well, it's also boring waiting around for the technicians and the director to get everything ready. Sometimes they treat actors just like droids. What do you mean? What lines? You never even read the script. Come to think of it, how would you have turned the pages?
Take 18.
The cast of Star Wars makes an 18th attempt to escape from the Death Star.
Okay, cut.
Got it?
And.
Oh! The mic was in frame.
The mic was in picture.
Oh.
The mic was in picture.
The
mic was in picture.
Everyone back to first position.
The sound department has to pay him. It was good for me.
Okay, print it and burn it.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
Again, special effects were used to heighten the action in the scene. Alec Guinness enters carrying only the hilt of his sword. He is given a second sword made of special light-reflecting material. When this sword is turned to the light, the reflection will appear to be the laser beam. However, for a more dramatic effect, an animated glow is added to the laser sword. Flashes of color are also printed in to enhance the scene. Sound effects add another dimension to the drama. Another angle of this climactic moment is photographed. This one without Alec Guinness. A dummy is substituted. For this scene, Lucas and his technicians are trying to achieve a difficult mechanical effect on the set.
It severed, but it all came down together.
The scene is not working. Lucas will later make the decision to enhance this scene with an optical effect.
I thought our troubles were over when we got away from the Death Star, but really, they were only just beginning. Watch the dogfight? Oh, how you do ramble on. You only want to see that because you have such a big part in it. Honestly, R2, sometimes I think success has gone to your wiring. You haven't been the same since the film opened. Well, at least I can answer my own fan mail, which is more than you can do.
Here, on what was the largest soundstage in England, the Star Wars company prepares to shoot the climax of R2's incredible adventure, one he embarks upon with Luke Skywalker.
May the Force be with you. How about that?
Luke! The rebel forces are about to launch an aerial attack against the Death Star. The secret message that R2 has brought back is used to help plan the raid.
Mr. Bourne, he's a great pilot.
Thank you, sir. I'll try. I gotta get aboard. We'll hear all your stories when we get back, all right? All right. Hey, Big.
The adventure sought by Luke Skywalker, the farm boy from Tatooine, is about to reach its most dangerous moment. For the first time since leaving home, he is on his own.
The character of Luke Skywalker is the one sounding board you have. And like Dorothy in Wizard of Oz or Jack Hawkins in Treasure Island, there's that one character that people look to see the reactions to everything else. He's very simple, very naive, very straightforward. He's that classic character in literature that doesn't want to stay on the farm, that wants to see what's beyond, and, you know, get off the farm and go have a little adventure.
The adventure into which Luke Skywalker is thrust is derived from World War II dogfights as shown in Hollywood films. For the space-age dogfight, detailed models are used. With the computer controls developed especially for Star Wars, it was possible to film the elements for this sequence with a freedom never before exercised in motion picture production. By controlling the motion of the camera and by remembering those motions, the computer allows for more complex and visually dynamic photography. Again, the models are photographed against blue screen to allow for the placement of other elements into the scene. The surface of the Death Star, until now seen only as a graphic, must now be rendered as a model. To effect attacks on the model by the rebel planes, explosions are sometimes triggered by primitive mechanisms. Similarly, the miniature planes are wired with small charges. It took 2 years and $3.5 million to do the Star Wars miniature and optical effects. This camera provides a pilot's eye view of an attack on the Death Star. Thousands of hours are devoted to collecting all the elements necessary for the final sequence.
Oh, my poor circuits. It's all so very complicated. I don't see how they ever put all this together. Well, really, R2, of course we all want to see how it worked out.
With the success of the film, the country goes Star Wars crazy. In the modern world, success can't be confined to one medium. It spills over into every area of our lives. Star Wars has spawned more Star wares than anyone can count. It has become an inescapable phenomenon. The music of Star Wars by John Williams is part of that phenomenon. And what about sequels? The producer of Star Wars, Gary
We had a lot of speculation about sequels to Star Wars, and we are working on story material that will develop into potentially one or more motion pictures that will use the same characters. I like to consider them different adventures rather than direct sequels.
Obviously, the Empire is still there, Darth Vader is still there, and it's going to also evolve with new characters coming in, new problems, new worlds.
It's still being written, the sequel, and we're all signed for them to do them, Mark Harrison and I, and the robots, 3PO and R2. But that's as far as I know. I heard that they were probably going to have an ice planet and a tropical planet, like the fourth moon of Yavin.
But then again, George can do anything he wants now. The first one has been so successful that he could set the next one in Redondo Beach if he chooses to do so.
There are questions that still need to be answered. Like, what about the future of the princess?
And who she is going to end up with is still anybody's guess. I will say that Luke is more devoted to her, I think, than Han Solo is.
I would probably describe Han Solo as the cynical mercenary space pirate with the cream filling, you know. He's a nice guy.
She's really a chump if she goes for Han Solo.
And what of Darth Vader? Will he get his comeuppance?
I don't like Darth, and I don't mind talking about it either. I think he's a bad guy, and I'm going to probably do my best to shoot him next time. I think he's powerful and dangerous.
They put us on a gigantic playground and gave us mounds of toys to play with. It was like playing cowboys and Indians for money.
It was a lot of fun. How much fun? About this much.
The magic of Star Wars does not lie only in its brilliant special effects. Its power derives from something simpler and rarer, the romantic spirit that moves in it. Before it, we are all young again, and everything seems possible.
My goodness, R2, were we really responsible for all that? If this keeps up, we may well be able to afford a droid of our own. What will he do? Well, he could answer your fan mail for a start. And then he could keep me polished up. Where will it all end? Perhaps, R2, it will never end.